Hey Bounce family, I'm so glad to see you back here with me. Today we're going to explore one of my favorite topics, and that is bounce therapy. And we're going to explore the foundational move, the health bounce, and how it supports 5 internal systems that help keep you fit and healthy. So let's dive in. Most people think that fitness is merely just burning calories, but your body doesn't change by simply putting in effort. If it did, we would all be bodybuilders by now. It changes because of the correct signals that we give it to respond to. And right now, there are 5 internal systems that are silently controlling your energy, your recovery, your weight loss, and even your mood that most workouts don't ever touch. But the health bounce does. And today, I'm going to show you why. Can I tell you one of the biggest mistakes that most people make when it comes to their health? They spend all their time focusing on symptoms and almost no time supporting the systems that produce those symptoms. You see, the body isn't random, it's simply responding. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt like you're doing all the things right. Eating better, moving more, trying harder, but your body still isn't responding the way you hoped. I know because I was there, and together we're going to explore in this video why this happens. But let's clear one thing up before we move on. Your body doesn't simply change because you worked harder. It changes best when we support our internal systems. Now, I know what you're thinking. Great, another health video where I can't even spell the words or I don't even know what body parts she's talking about. Don't worry. I have a functional medicine background, which means I've already suffered through all those textbooks for you. And truthfully, I don't even like all that fancy health lingo because most of us aren't trying to become doctors. And just like you, I was simply just trying to figure it out. Why we're exhausted, why we're stressed, why our body is acting like it's got a mind of its own, and what actually helps. So today we're going to keep it simple, practical, and focus on what matters most, understanding our body just a little bit better. First up on this list is circulation. And this system is how the blood moves oxygen and nutrients throughout the body and removes waste. Sounds simple, but circulation is one of the most important systems keeping you alive. Every cell in your body depends on it. Your brain depends on it. Your organs and muscles depend on it. Without circulation, nothing gets to where it needs to go. But here is the problem. Circulation starts to slow down when we stop moving. And most people sweat a lot. In fact, let's take a quick time out because I want to show you how to solve this problem. And here it is, a simple micro bounce session. No fancy workout attire, no motivational speech, no YouTube workout to watch, just simply coming onto our rebounder, pushing into our mat, and doing the health bounce anywhere between a minute to 5 minutes. And trying to maintain this consistently throughout our day. At least 3 to 5 times a day is what I try to shoot for. And honestly, I think it's that simple to help us break free from a sedentary life. I think that every home and office should have one. Because sometimes sitting all day, the answer isn't going and grabbing another cup of coffee. It's signaling our body to get things moving again. Okay, let's talk more about circulation. In fact, heart disease is still the leading cause of death worldwide. Not because people suddenly woke up with heart problems, but because years of inactivity, poor circulation, stress, and lifestyle habits slowly begin to add up. And while most of us are not thinking about heart disease while we're working at our desk or watching a movie as a family, we're simply thinking about how tired we feel, how sluggish we are, dealing with things like brain fog, cold hands and feet, low energy, and needing another cup of coffee or energy drink to get us through the afternoon. But What I've discovered, and many others are finding, is that our body doesn't need more caffeine. It needs better stimulation through movement. Your heart is an incredible pump, but it wasn't designed just to work all on its own. Your body was designed to move. In fact, every step you take, every muscle contraction, every movement throughout the day helps support circulation. Your blood vessels stretch for tens of thousands of miles throughout the body. That is a massive transportation network that depends on movement to operate efficiently. And this is why rebounding is incredibly powerful, because when you bounce, your body is experiencing rapid changes in gravity, up and down, weightless and grounded over and over again. And this creates a gentle pumping effect on the body, helping to support circulation without requiring high impact exercise. Why is this important? Because not all movement is created equal. Better circulation means better delivery of nutrients, better delivery of oxygen, better support for recovery, better support for energy, and ultimately better support for the systems that keep you healthy. I hope this challenges you to think of movement in a new way, not just to burn calories, but something as simple as bouncing just a few minutes a couple times a day can be one of the most important things we do to support the system that is responsible for delivering life to every cell of our bodies. Next, we're going to talk about metabolism, and this is one of the most misunderstood systems in our entire body, because most people hear the word metabolism and think calories, weight loss, or how fast they burn food. But metabolism is so much more than that. At its core, metabolism is our body's energy system. It's about how your body takes in food that we eat, the oxygen that we breathe, and turns it into usable energy. Energy to think, energy to move, energy to heal, energy to simply make it through the day. Metabolism is one of the most frustrating words for women over 30. Most people have been told that it's all about eating less and moving more. And this one hits close to home for me, because for years as a fitness trainer, I cringed at this very statement. And don't even get me started on counting calories. What a nightmare. I knew how to work out. I knew how to focus on nutrition. I knew what was supposed to work. But somewhere in my mid-30s, my body stopped responding the way it used to. What worked in my 20s wasn't working anymore. It wasn't because I was lazy. It wasn't because I lacked discipline. It wasn't because I was eating dramatically different. Yet I felt like I had to work harder and harder just to watch the scale go up and my energy levels go down. Here is something I want you to tell all your friends and family. Metabolism isn't just about calories. It's about communication. It's about efficiency. It's about how well our body can create energy. And right now, millions of people are walking around exhausted, not because they're lazy, but because their body isn't producing and using energy efficiently. And when metabolism starts to struggle, we often feel it long before a diagnosis appears. You may notice things like low energy, brain fog, difficulty losing weight, poor recovery, feeling like you're running on empty no matter how much coffee you drink. Stick with me here, because I am going to say something that most people never hear. Metabolism isn't always looking for more willpower. Sometimes it's simply asking for more support. A stressed body uses energy differently than a regulated body. Let me repeat that for you. A stressed body uses energy differently than a regulated body. Think about that. Your body can be consuming energy all day long while simultaneously struggling to produce the kind of energy that makes you feel alive. Your metabolism depends on multiple systems working together: oxygen delivery, circulation, hormones, cellular communication, nervous system regulation. And when those systems work together, energy becomes more available. When they don't, everything feels harder. And this is exactly why I fell in love with rebounding, because it supports many of the systems metabolism depends on. As you bounce, circulation improves, oxygen delivery improves, your nervous system begins to regulate, your body receives movement without the stress of high impact exercise. And over time, that creates a better environment for energy production. Most workouts focus on burning energy. Bounce therapy helps support the systems responsible for creating and using energy. This is why most people get off the rebounder and say, I actually feel better, not destroyed, not exhausted, just better. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not just to burn calories. The goal is to create a body that can access energy, a body that can recover, a body that can adapt, a body that can thrive. And when it comes to creating energy, there's a system that I want to go on to next that influences all others, and that system is the nervous system. But one last note about energy that I would like to mention is, of course, nutrition. It is a big piece of the puzzle, and not some crazy restrictions or a hardcore carnivore diet, but just whole foods, not extremes, just basics. Okay, on to system number 3. Let's talk about the system that controls everything, your nervous system. And honestly, I am in love with all the attention that the nervous system is finally getting. Because for years, we have focused exclusively on calories, workouts, supplements, and symptoms, while completely ignoring the system that influences all of them. Here's what concerns me. As the awareness of the nervous system has grown, so has the confusion around it. Suddenly, there are hundreds of complicated terms, new protocols, new techniques, new things that people are asking you to buy. And while some of those things are helpful, sometimes I think we've made something incredibly intelligent, incredibly complicated. The truth is that your body has never been trying to sabotage you. It's always been working to protect you. Every single day. That's its job. Our bodies are constantly asking one question: am I safe? And based on that answer, our various systems make their decisions. What you need to know about your nervous system is that it's your body's command center. It helps regulate your breathing, digestion, heart rate, your recovery, your hormone signaling, and even how you perceive the world around you. And here's why that matters so much, because chronic stress has been linked to increased risk of numerous health challenges over time. We've all heard the phrase stress kills. And while that might sound a little dramatic, there's actually a lot of truth to it. Research has shown that chronic stress can increase heart disease, depression, anxiety, metabolic dysfunction, and a host of other health challenges. In fact, the American Psychological Association reports that chronic stress is linked to many of the leading causes of death and disability in the world. That's how powerful the nervous system is. If your body feels like it's under threat, it shifts resources towards protection and away from things like recovery, digestion, repair, and optimal function. This is exactly why we can eat healthy, take supplements, work out, do all the right things, and still feel exhausted, because your body responds to signals before it responds to strategies. And honestly, this is one of the biggest lessons I had to learn for myself. For years, I thought the answer was doing more workouts, more restrictions, more effort, until I realized my body wasn't asking for more stress, it was asking for, you've guessed it, more support. And this is one of the reasons why I love teaching people about bounce therapy. Not because it's magic, but because it's simple. It's rhythmic movement, predictable movement, repetitive movement. And these are all signals that can help our body feel safe. When you bounce gently, you're not just moving your muscles. You are communicating with your nervous system. And it's important that our body feels safe, because that way it stops spending so much energy on protecting us and can start spending the energy on healing us. So the goal here isn't to become some nervous system regulation expert. The goal is simply to understand our body's communication just a little bit better, because your body's not broken. It's not working against you. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do, and that is to protect you. The more we understand these signals, the more we can work with our body instead of constantly fighting it. And when the body feels safe, something else moves more efficiently as well. And that is our fourth system, the lymphatic system. Now let's talk about a system that is getting a lot of attention lately, especially when it comes to rebounding, the lymphatic system. And honestly, I'm really glad it is, because for years almost nobody talked about it, and now it seems like everybody is. If you've spent any time on social media recently, you've probably seen it. Dry brushing, lymphatic massage, tapping, detox teas, someone scraping something across their face. And yes, even fitness rebounders have jumped into it. And while some of these things are absolutely supportive, I, for one, love scraping my face with a jade stone from time to time. I do think we're missing a bigger conversation, because the lymphatic system is so much more than helping us to look less puffy. It is a vitally important system that helps us to keep internal balance throughout the whole body. Lymphatic system helps us manage fluids throughout our tissues. It supports immune function, it transports certain nutrients throughout the body, and it plays a role in clearing waste from the spaces around our cells. I want to take a moment to think about this for a second. Your cells live in a fluid environment. Every cell in your body exists in a tiny neighborhood surrounded by fluid. Nutrients have to come in, waste has to go out, communication has to happen, and that environment matters. Because we've all felt it: puffy, heavy, inflamed, stiff, sluggish, like our body isn't flowing well. And maybe we are feeling the effects of stagnation more than we realize. Something that might surprise you is your body is constantly making waste products as a normal part of life. Every day, every hour, every minute. The goal isn't detoxing. The goal is efficiently handling what your body is already processing. And this is where I think health industry has got it backwards. We've been taught that we have to buy something to detox, but your body is detoxing right now. That's what a healthy body does. The real question should be, are we supporting the systems that are responsible for doing the work? Because there's a huge difference between trying to force detoxification and supporting the body's natural ability to maintain balance. This is one of the biggest reasons why I believe that everybody should be rebounding. Not because it forces anything, not because it's some magical detox tool, but because it reintroduces something everybody desperately needs more of, and that is movement. Because remember, when you bounce, you're creating a rhythmic movement through the entire body. You're changing pressure, you're changing position, you're changing flow over and over again. And what's fascinating to me is that something so simple can support something so important. No complicated protocol, no 10-step routine, just movement. And before someone asks, yes, lymphatic massage can be helpful. Yes, tapping can feel great. But those are often temporary and superficial interventions. Movement is what your body was designed to do, and it's one of the best ways to signal it. The lymphatic system isn't usually asking for another detox tea. It's simply asking to move consistently, gently, and often. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for our health isn't adding something to our body, it's returning to something as simple as moving. And that brings us to our last system of the day. And this one completely changed the way I think about movement, and that is fascia. Quick question here. Have you ever felt tight even though you stretched, or stiff even though you work out, or like your body just doesn't move the way it's supposed to? What if I told you the problem might not actually be your muscles? Our final system that we're going to talk about today is the connective tissue that wraps around everything in your body. Your muscles, your organs, your nerves, everything. Think of it like a full body web, or maybe even the body's internal spider web. What I find fascinating is that scientists used to believe that it was just some type of packing material, something that simply held everything together. But today we know it's much more important than that. Fascia is the reason why movement feels smooth, fluid, and effortless. It's constantly transmitting force and information through the body. Which means when the fascia becomes more restricted, you don't just feel tight, you feel stiff, heavy, restricted, less athletic, less mobile, like your body is fighting against itself. And the crazy part to me is that we can have strong muscles but still have unhealthy fascia, which is why some people who are really strong have problems moving more fluidly. Just like the rest of our body, fascia responds to how we live. Hours of sitting, repetitive movement, lack of movement, years of stress, all of this influences the quality of this tissue. In other words, your body wasn't designed to sit hours in a chair. And this is where bouncing becomes incredibly unique because your fascia loves elasticity, it loves rhythm, it loves variation, it loves spring. Simple science, when you bounce, you're creating a gentle stretch and release pattern throughout the whole body over and over again. It's like reminding your body how to move the way it was designed. Think about children. They naturally jump, hop, skip, bounce. Their bodies constantly are moving elastically. Then we grow up and spend most of our day sitting. And maybe that's just not coincidence. And maybe it's not just because we're aging. Maybe it's simply the lack of movement in our lives. And so when we engage in the health bounce, we're not just moving our muscles, we're restoring elasticity, we're restoring rhythm and movement, and we're helping our body to move as a connective system once again. Because movement isn't just something that we do, it's something that we need. And when we look at all 5 of these systems together, circulation, metabolism, the nervous system, lymphatic system, fascia, you start to realize something, that your body was never working against you, it's working for you. It's constantly adapting, constantly protecting, and constantly communicating. And maybe one of the biggest takeaways that you got from this video today is that our health doesn't have to be as complicated as we've made it. Most of the time, our body isn't asking for another supplement or a health program or another trending hack. Sometimes the answer is as simple as knowing our body a little bit better and understanding that if we support it, it will do the work for us. Before I leave you today, I would love to hear from you. Which system surprised you the most? Or which one made you think, wow, nobody has ever explained it like that before? Let me know in the comments because I genuinely love hearing from you. I love your stories and learning what resonates with you. And if this video connected with you, I'm super excited about my new ebook, Help a Girl Out, which is available below. It's for all you women out there who have been doing the right things, eating better, moving more, trying harder, and wondering why your body isn't responding the way it used to. Inside, we explore what happens to the body after 35, why the weight won't budge, what your body may be trying to tell you, and practical ways to start working with your body instead of against it. Because the truth is, your body isn't broken, and understanding this really does change everything. Until next time, keep listening to your body because it's way smarter than we give it credit for. Remember, your body is always responding. And the question I want you to leave here today with is, what are you asking your body to respond to? Thanks for spending some time with me today, guys, and exploring the power behind the bounce. Let me know in the comments what you would like to explore next. And until next time, when in doubt, bounce it out.